following podcast is a creep show. However, the individuals you're about to meet are idiots. Their opinions, attributes, and advice contain the same nutritional value as pasta. This is the human condition in all its strangeness. This is the internet, according to an idiot. An idiot. An idiot.
All right, hi, and welcome to According to an Idiot. Hopefully you know that because you had to click on Patreon first and then click on this recording. And if you're watching from Patreon, you're probably seeing our faces right now. There's a high likelihood, if everything went well, this is our first official video podcast recording. So we're testing out how this goes, if it's doable for our full-length episodes and our mini episodes. So hopefully this wasn't a huge headache. But if it is, maybe we'll just keep doing it for Creepypastas. We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes. But thank you for joining us on this Creepypasta episode, and thank you for being a patron. As always, we love you all very, very much.
Thank you so much.
Jeremy, I have two creepypasta stories to choose from. I want to preface this by saying I had one picked out, and I was very upset right before this recording started to figure out that Creepypasta website that we use removed it in the last 24 hours. That has a notice.
Was it new? Was it new then?
No, it's from 2009. It was Ayuwoki, which it's a story based off of an animatronic Michael Jackson. And
wow.
Yeah,
why would they remove that?
The picture in the video, horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. You should post a picture on Instagram and Patreon anyway, just
how do you spell it?
It's Ayuwoki. Apparently,
oh my god, I don't want to click on this closer. I just see in the
it's like in
the Google search bar, it'll show you like a little tiny picture of what you're. I don't want to click. I don't want to get it.
It's click on scary. It's like genuinely really scary.
Oh my god!
But the story was basically this like animatronic Michael Jackson was made, and then Michael Jackson had died, right? Because he had died in 2009. And this animatronic started following people around because the spirit of Michael Jackson possessed it. And right before it killed you, it would go, hee hee.
That's stupid. That just made this so much. I can look at this now. That's made it so much less scary.
Yeah. Well, I was looking up the best worst creepypastas, because I'm still riding on the Jeff the Killer high, because that one was so terrible in such a fun way. And I saw that one and I was really excited, and then they removed it. They said it didn't fit the quality standards.
That would have been perfect for this then.
Yeah, so we don't have that one, but I do have Laughing Jack.
Oh, I've seen Laughing Jack before.
In the tags, we do have Children in Childhood, Death and Murders, Monsters, and famous creepypasta. So we'll see.
This is the new one or the last one?
This is Laughing Jack.
Okay, Laughing Jack.
Mm-hmm. This one has a rating of 8.93 out of 10 and has 2,000 votes. All right.
Let's go.
It was a nice summer day. My 5-year-old son James was playing outside in the backyard of our suburban home. James has always been a quiet boy. He plays by himself mostly. He never had many friends, but he has always had a wild imagination. I was in the kitchen feeding our dog Fido when I heard what sounded like James talking to someone in the backyard. Fido. I'm not sure who it was he could be talking to. Could he have finally made a friend? The fucking loser.
My incel son?
Being a single mom, it's hard for me to always keep an eye on my son. so I decided to go outside and check on him. When I went into the backyard, I was a bit confused because James was the only person back there. Was he talking to himself? I could have sworn I heard another voice. James, it's time to come inside. I called out to him. He came inside and sat down at the kitchen table. It was about lunchtime, so I decided to make him a turkey sandwich. James, who are you talking to out there? I asked. James looked up for a moment. I was playing with my new friend, he said, smiling. I poured him some milk and continued to pry, as any good mother would. Does your friend have a name? Why didn't you ask him to come have lunch with us? I asked. James stared at me for a moment before replying. His name is Laughing Jack. I was a bit taken aback by what he had said. Oh, that's a strange name. What does your friend look like? I asked, a bit confused. He's a clown. He has long hair and a big swirly cone nose. He's got long arms and baggy pants with stripy socks, and he always smiles. I realized my son was talking about an imaginary friend. I suppose it is normal for kids his age to have imaginary friends, especially when he has no real kids to play with. It's probably just a phase. This has like the same... I feel like all of these creepypastas have like the same writing style.
Yeah.
Where they over-explain the weather.
Mm-hmm.
The parents are always clueless, and it's always like, as a child, what you think parents think about.
Yes, I was going to say that, yeah. It's obviously written by children.
Yeah.
/ teenagers, probably.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or just really bad writers. But yeah, no, it's always a mom who is making food for the kid. Mm-hmm. It's always like a stay-at-home mom, a dad who's it's like 1950s or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's very paint by the numbers in terms of setup. It's almost always about a kid.
Yeah.
You know, it's rarely about an adult.
Mm-hmm. And they always have like the most generic names, like
John,
Johnny,
Jack,
yeah, Jack,
Sally.
The rest of the day went by as per usual, and it was starting to get late, so I put James to bed. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, and made sure to turn on his nightlight before I closed the door. I was pretty tired myself, so I decided to go to bed not long after. I had an awful nightmare. It was dark. I was in some kind of run-down amusement park. I was scared, running through an endless field of empty tents, broken down rides, and abandoned game huts. The whole place had a horrible look to it. Everything was black and white. The prized stuffed animals all hung from nooses in the game huts, all with sick grins stitched on their faces. I felt like the whole park was looking at me, even though there wasn't another living thing in sight. Then suddenly, I began to hear music play. The sounds of Pop Goes the Weasel being played on a squeeze box echoed through the park. It was hypnotizing. I followed its tune to the circus tent almost in a trance, unable to stop my legs from moving forward. It was pitch black. The only light came from a single spotlight shining down on the center of the big top. As I walked toward the light, the music slowed down. I found myself singing along, unable to stop. All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey, though 'twas all in fun. I don't actually know the song.
I don't know either, but it's the Pop goes the weasel.
Yeah.
So all around the mulberry bush.
All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey, though 'twas all in fun. I guess. I don't know. She's just like fucking.
Let me take my shoes off and dance.
She's like, I never get time without my kid around.
It just feels good to get back to how it was, you know?
Yeah. Back to how I got this kid in the first place.
at a carnival.
You know what? I'm ready for a second one. The music stopped right before its climax. And suddenly the lights shot on. The intensity of the lights was practically blinding. All I could see was a small dark silhouette shuffle towards me. Then another one appeared, and another, and another. There were dozens of them, all coming towards me. I couldn't move. My legs were frozen. All I could do was watch as the haunting figures drew nearer. As they got closer, I could see they were children. As I looked at each one, I noticed they were all horribly disfigured and mutilated. Some had cuts all over their body, others were severely burnt, and others were missing limbs. Even eyes.
Even?
Even eyes.
My God.
No odd eyes. The children enveloped me, clawing at my flesh, dragging me to the ground, and tearing inside me. The children tore me apart and I faded away. All I could hear was laughter. Horrible, awful, evil laughter.
I hate those dreams.
Yeah, those are...
They just happen sometimes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We've all had them.
We've all had those dreams.
Like once a week, you know?
Right. Of the...
Disfigured children with odd eyes.
Yeah, right before you climax. Right before you climax, you get a bunch of demon children.
Damn these haunted wet dreams.
It's like, no coming today.
No.
You know what happens when you come? You get children.
If you come in the dream, you come in real life. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
But with more ejaculate.
Yeah, if Freud analyzed this dream, it'd be like, looks like
You want to fuck your mom. That's what that means.
Seems like you want to have a penis. Penis envy? Classic case of penis envy.
Classic.
I woke up the next morning in a cold sweat. After taking a few deep breaths, I looked over and saw that a few of James's action figures were positioned facing me on top of my nightstand. I sighed. James had probably woken up early and put these here. I gathered up the toys and made my way to James's room. However, when I opened the door, James was sound asleep. Everyone knows you can't wake up and do things and then go back to bed. It wasn't James. I just shrugged and placed the toys back into his toy box and headed out to the living room. A little while later, James woke up and I made him his breakfast. He was quiet and seemed a bit groggy. Perhaps he didn't sleep well either. I decided to ask him about the toys. James, honey, did you put the toys in Mommy's room this morning? His eyes shot up at me for a moment, then quickly glanced back down at his cereal. Laughing Jack did it. I rolled my eyes and responded, well, you tell Laughing Jack to keep the toys in your room. James nodded and finished up his breakfast, then decided to go play out in the backyard. I went to relax in the living room, and I must have dozed off because I woke up a couple hours later. Shit! I need to check on James. I was a bit worried. It's been over 2 hours, and I haven't checked on him. This is like, kids don't know what adults do. So it's like, They fell asleep. They just took a nap.
Yeah.
And the first thing they think of is like, I gotta make sure my kid isn't dead.
Which is fair. I mean, he seems like he's pretty young, right?
Yeah. I didn't say how old he is, but I'm assuming like 7 or 8. I stepped out into the backyard, but James wasn't there anymore. I was getting nervous, so I called out to him, James! James, where are you? Just then I heard a giggle come from the front yard. I rushed through the gate around to the front of the house. James was sitting on the sidewalk. I breathed a sigh of relief and walked over to him. James, how many times have I told you to stay in the backyard? James?
Yeah.
What are you eating? James looked up at me, then reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of hard candies in all colors. This made me very nervous. James, who gave you that candy? James just stared at me, not speaking. James! Please! Tell Mommy where you got that candy. James hung his head down and said, Laughing Jack gave it to me. My heart sunk. I kneeled down to look him in the eye. James, I've had enough of this damn Laughing Jack thing. He is not real. Now,
Second day. This is the second day.
Second day. Now, this is a very serious situation, and I need to know who gave you the candy. I could see my son's eyes tear up. But Mama, Laughing Jack did give me the candy. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. James had never lied to me, but what he's telling me is impossible. Clowns don't exist.
Is that an actual sentence?
No.
I would put it past it. Clowns aren't real.
I made him spit out the candy, and I throw the rest away. James appears to be fine. Maybe I'm just overreacting after all he could. The grammar of this is giving me a stroke. Maybe I'm just overreacting. After all, he could have gotten it from Tom and Linda from next door, or Mr. Walker down the street. Either way, I'm going to have to keep a closer eye on James. That night, I put James to bed as usual and decided to go to bed early myself. Suddenly, I was woken up by a loud bang coming from the kitchen. I sprung out of bed and hurried down the stairs. When I got to the kitchen, I was horrified. Everything on the counters had been thrown on the floor, and our dog, Fido, hung dead from the light fixture.
What the fuck?
Fido.
Rest in peace, Fido.
I forgot you existed because you have not been mentioned since the first sentence.
Right.
Oh my God. His stomach was cut open and stuffed with candy, the same type that James was eating earlier that day.
Ooh, that's an evil piñata.
Yeah. My shock was quickly broken by a sharp scream coming from James's room, followed by loud crashes. I quickly grabbed a knife from the drawer and moved up the stairs with the speed that only a mother whose child is in danger could have.
So just kind of fast? Is that what that means?
Like pretty fast, you know? James! I burst through the door and flicked on the lights. Everything in the room was knocked over and tossed on the floor. My poor son in his bed crying and shaking with fear. A pool of urine staining the sheets. I scooped my child up and ran out of the house and went next door to Tom and Linda's house. Luckily, they were still awake. They let me use their phone and I called the police. It didn't take them long to arrive, and I explained what had happened. They looked up at me as if I were crazy. They searched the house, but all they found was a dead dog and 2 trashed rooms. I feel like that's not... Like, if I went into a house and there was a gutted dog, they would be like, this is concerning.
They're not going to say, like, all I found was a dead dog.
Yeah.
With his guts full of candy. It's not like an all I found situation. That's like I found a dead dog.
Yeah, they're like...
Something happened here.
We need to get you
hanging from the ceiling, too.
Right, in a protected hotel or something. Not like, you should clean this up and go to bed. What do you...
throw the dog out and go to bed.
The officer told me that someone had probably gotten to the house and done this right before making a quick escape when they heard me coming up the stairs.
Great job, detective. Ace work.
Yeah, like, no shit.
It all makes sense now.
He's like, yeah, someone just came in, did this, and then they left. What's the problem?
Yeah. I've studied the scene. I'm determined that a man came in and did this, then left. You should be fine to go back to sleep.
Yeah, he's like, why'd you even call us? They're gone.
Yeah.
What do you expect us to do? I knew it wasn't true. All the doors were locked and none of the windows were open. Whatever was in my house didn't come from outside.
It came from inside?
I guess.
Inside of her son. The imaginary friend.
My son did it. The next day, James stayed inside. I didn't want him to leave my sight. I went into the garage and found and found his old baby monitor and set it up in his room to see if anything I went into the garage and found his old baby monitor and set it up in his room if anything comes into it tonight. I was going to be able to hear it. That makes perfect sense to me.
There's clearly no punctuation in this story, is what I'm gathering from how you're reading it. Yeah.
Yeah, there are no commas And if there are commas, they're used in place of periods. So
Perfect. That's classic creepypasta.
I went to the kitchen and grabbed the largest knife from the drawer and put it on my nightstand. Imaginary friend or not, I'm not letting anything hurt my little boy. Soon enough night came. I put James to bed. He was afraid, but I promised him that I wasn't going to let anything happen to him. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, and turned on the nightlight. Before closing the door, I whispered to him, "Good night, James. I love you." Why wouldn't she stay in there with him?
I know. Sleep in my room.
Yeah, like, unless she's like worried he's going to pee in her bed too.
It's more important than his life.
That's where the mother's love ends.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to stay up as long as I could, but after a few hours, I felt myself drifting off. My baby would be safe for the night, and I needed to sleep. Just as I lay my head on the pillow, I heard a soft noise come from the baby monitor I put on my nightstand. At first, it sounded like interference, like the kind of radio would make. Then it turned into a soft moan. Was James asleep? Then I heard oh my God. Then I heard it. The laugh from my nightmare. That horrible laugh. I sprung up from the bed and grabbed the knife from under my pillow. I rushed over to James's room and creaked the door open. I tried the light switch, but it wouldn't come on. I took a step in, and I could feel the warm, thick liquid on my feet.
Urine.
Right. Suddenly, James's nightlight came on, and I could see the absolute horror laid out in front of me.
Oh, is he dead?
James's body was nailed up on the wall, the nails piercing through his hands and feet. His chest was cut wide open, and his organs hung down to the floor. His eyes and tongue had been removed, along with most of his teeth.
God.
And all she heard was a moan? I guess of him dying? Okay. I was disgusted. I would hope so.
You're the mother. You're going to be terrified and this is okay. I'm going to love to hear how she copes with this.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
This would cause the mother to probably commit suicide, like seeing this horrific to your child. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see how delicately this is handled by the author.
I know. I was disgusted. I could hardly believe this was my baby boy. Then I heard it again. The soft, desperate moan. James was still alive. My baby, my poor baby, in so much pain, barely clinging to life. I ran across the room and vomited on the floor. But my sickness was interrupted by a horrible cackle coming from behind me. I spun around while still wiping bile from my mouth. Then out of the shadows emerged the fiend responsible for all this horror, Laughing Jack. His ghost-white skin and matted black hair hung down to his shoulders. He had piercing white eyes surrounded by dark black rings. His twisted smile revealed a row of sharp, jagged teeth, and his skin didn't look like skin at all. It almost looked like rubber or plastic. He wore a patchy black and white clown outfit with striped sleeved and socks. His body itself was grotesque, his long arms hanging down past his waist, and the way he was poised made him look almost boneless, like a rag doll. He let out a sickening laugh, as if to let me know he was pleased with my reaction to his work. He then turned around slowly in front of James and began to laugh even more at the horrific sight he had laid out. That was enough to shake me from my terror. I snapped, "Get away from him, you bastard!" I rushed at the monster, raising the knife above my head and stabbed down at him. But as soon as the knife touched him, he disappeared in a cloud of black smoke. The knife passed right through and pierced James' still beating heart.
Wait, so she stabbed her son?
Yeah, she stabbed her son.
Oh, God.
My baby. I immediately fell to my knees. I could hear the sirens in the distance growing louder.
What? Did you call the cops? The cops just know these things.
Yeah, they just know. They just know. I failed. I'm so sorry. Police soon arrived to find me in front of my son. still wielding the knife covered in my baby's blood. The trial was short. Insanity. I was placed in the house for the criminally insane, where I've been for the past 2 months. It's not so bad here. The only reason I'm awake now is because someone is playing Pop Goes the Weasel outside my window. I'll talk to the orderlies about it in the morning. That's it. That's the story.
What was his name? Laughing Jack. Laughing
Jack, yeah.
Has returned to finish the job. You gotta think the cop that came back to that house the next night was probably like, you know what? I should have seen this coming. Honestly, I should not have shrugged off the disemboweled dog in the house. I really should have reported this to the higher ups. Well, you win some, you lose some. Shit.
Some of the comments. I thought it was delightful. Another comment. This is a very thought out story. I could tell the author put in much effort, and I admire that endlessly. Also,
people are fucking idiots. I love how fucking stupid these people are in the comments. This story had a lot of words in it, and it was long. I liked how it was written in paragraphs.
Basically, how the story was written was amazing. It inspired me that I can write a graphic, gripping story. Well done. Said Skullhead.
I said what?
Skullhead.
Skullhead. I need more reviews. Are there more?
Yes. Oh my god, there's so many. I am 10 years old right now, and Laughing Jack's description looks just like the guy who runs around my house and hides behind trees. The fear that he comes inside one night is my top fear. I cannot.
I mean, they're lying. That's a fake thing they're making up. It's hilarious.
Someone replied, I am also 10. Laughing Jack is fictional, but if that person offers you candy, do not accept it under any circumstances, with like 5 exclamation marks in parentheses. He may be a cosplayer, but still take no chances.
If you're a cosplayer, but still take no chances.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I love it so much. That's an era that I miss. It's being
these
like
are
a stupid little kid. And
yeah, these comments are from 2020.
Oh god, really? Wow.
This person says, this is one of my favorites. It's very detailed and has lots of imagery.
You know, like in class when the teacher says you have to give a peer review to somebody's project, and so you just have to it's like a word count, so it's like you have to say at least 2 sentences about what you liked about it. This story was very good. I liked the word use a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it's like these reviews are so redundant.
The imagery was there.
The imagery was there. The words were also there.
Panda Gamer says, this story is scary and amazing. I am only 11 and I am reading this at 3 a.m. I am shivering in fear. All one sentence.
They shouldn't be up.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Laughing Jack, like cosplayers and fan art. And I'm not surprised to see that people have already made him hot.
He should be. He should be
because he is.
Everyone in this comment section is 11.
Well, good.
I'm
glad it's not like I'm 35 and this is scary.
There are no other ages. They are all 11 years old.
Well, they're probably all like also like, you gotta remember, some of them are probably like pedophiles pretending to be kids as well. So
yeah. Oh, I am literally creeped out because I am a 12-year-old. This story gave me chills. The little asterisk things. Gulps.
What a 12-year-old thing to do. At least there's someone older than 11. I like that. 12-year-olds. I'm literally scared. Gulp.
A good story. ... Parents to be aware of their kids' imaginary friends. It's a cautionary tale.
Yes. Put that on the nightly news.
Oh, God. Okay. I have one last creepypasta. This one is very short. Very, very short.
Let's do it.
Okay. Who was phone? Is what it's called.
I
You know this one?
I think I do. I think from years and years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything written in this is like shorthand, right? Like instead of your, like WOUR, it's just you are.
You are.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So imagine that while you're reading
Like
it.
text speak.
So you're with your honey and you're making out when the phone rings. You answer it and the voice is, "What are you doing with my daughter?" You tell your girl and she say, "My dad is dead." Then who was phone?
I'm 12 and I'm literally shivering right now. Gulp.
I'm 11 and this,
Whoa.
I love your imagery. This was really well written. This was amazing.
I'm 11 and I love the words. It was very good and very long. A lot of thought was put into this.
A lot of effort. I could tell you put in effort. Well, thank you. All of you.
Yes.
I'm not gonna...
Thank you for being a patron and supporting us. I hope you enjoyed this and seeing our faces.
This is...
Wait, hold on. Wait. Let's see if I can grab this up. Rip my headphones out. Let me put on my really cool hat. My really cool guy hat that isn't lame at all. Hold on.
Oh my god. And you don't wear that on a daily basis?
Huh?
Where'd you get that?
Yeah, man, this is really cool, dude.
Renaissance Festival?
A coworker gave this to me. He's 50 years old, and he said he was getting a different one. And he asked if I wanted this, and I said, absolutely, I want that.
Is it the astral projecting guy?
It is.
I knew it.
He's a lovely man, but this is his hat.
We do plan on getting him on the podcast at some point. I hope that's still the plan.
Yeah. He would. I'm sure he would love it. He's a great guy. He's got some great stories.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that, but there's a guy that I work with who can astral project. And we're gonna try to see if we can talk to him either on the main feed or on Patreon, whatever. You know?
I would say main feed.
I would like that too.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he wants his. Well, probably. I think for his safety, based on the stuff that he says, we should maybe change his name or something. That's why I would think Patreon, but main feed for sure. I would prefer that. Absolutely.
I would love it if we did a video recording too, so we can post clips, but then we just do the thing where he's just a black figure.
Yeah.
Like he's in a documentary and a whistleblower.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. As always, we love you very much. If you enjoyed this, please let us know. If you didn't, please let us know. If you have any creepypastas that you're dying to hear about, please let us know.
Let us know.
I'm assuming that you have all of our socials because I won't repeat them here. But if you don't, listen to like the last 30 seconds of any of our episodes and you'll hear me say it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bye.
And as always, I'll see you in time.
We love you.
Bye.